Welcome. We are a mother-daughter podcast about all things surrogacy. Together, we have brought 8 beautiful babies into this world, and we would like to share through education and knowledge about surrogacy with those who want to educate themselves on the topic. This is Stop.Sit.Surrogate. This episode is sponsored by US Surrogacy, LLC. If you've ever dreamed of helping grow a family or are hoping to grow your own, US Surrogacy, LLC is here to guide you every step of the way. They are a dedicated surrogacy agency committed to supporting intended parents and surrogates through a compassionate, ethical, and well-supported journey. US Surrogacy, LLC works with amazing women who want to make a life-changing difference by becoming a surrogate, while also helping intended parents experience the incredible gift of parenthood. Their team focuses on transparency, strong communication, and personalized support so that everyone involved feels confident, cared for, and informed throughout the entire process. If you've ever considered becoming a surrogate, or if you're an intended parent exploring your options, US Surrogacy LLC is ready to help you take that next step. To learn more about their programs and how you can get started, visit us-surrogacy.com. That's us-surrogacy.com. And now let's get into today's episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Stop.Sit.Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen. We have a very wonderful guest with us today. Kennedy and I are intrigued to hear how this all works. So we're going to let him introduce himself and we'll take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm Michael Johnson Ellis. I am a dad to 3 children through surrogacy. Tallulah, who's 9, and Duke is 6, and Otto is 6 months old. So I'm also co-founder and co-CEO of My Surrogacy Journey.
Okay.
Well, first of all, huge congratulations.
Right.
Thank you.
Gosh, good for you. I know we're not here to talk about that, but are they all from the same surrogate or no?
So the first 2 were from Caroline, who was our gestational surrogate. And so the first 2, Tallulah and Duke, were born with the amazing help of Caroline. And our 3rd was born in Mexico City through our incredible surrogate, Marcella. So, yeah.
Okay. That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
That's cool.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
Okay. All right. So you said you briefly touched on it, but that's what we're here to talk about today. It's called My Surrogacy Journey. So what is that to you? Like, where did this come from?
So me and my husband founded the organization in 2021. Prior to that, we obviously had 2 children. We had Tallulah and Duke at the time. And we had quite a bumpy surrogacy journey with Tallulah and Duke, more so with Tallulah because it was back in 2015, 2016. And Tallulah and Duke were both born in the UK, where surrogacy is altruistic. And we didn't know what we didn't know. And we made a bunch of mistakes, and fertility clinics weren't really built for us. The healthcare service definitely wasn't built for us. So we had tons of challenges, and we created a platform called 2 Dads UK, which is our Instagram kind of family channel now. But that was our activism arm, because we went on to do a lot of work with government and law reform and law change and policy improvement to support surrogates better and intended parents better through maternity services. So we had already got the bug for awareness raising, really. And then, in the UK, the surrogacy landscape, there were 3 agencies, and they do a great job, but they've always done what they've always done. And we often felt, as an intended parent, not all of our needs were heard, and definitely the support wasn't there. So COVID hit and our jobs dried up, and me and Wes, who's my husband, were like, right, we've always wanted to do this. Let's create an organization that doesn't exist, that really makes the journey equal for everybody. No one's on a pedestal. Everyone's balanced and equal, but journeys will be managed with clinical, professional, legal, practical, and emotional support. So we built all of those mechanics to really do full service surrogacy, which included matching. So that's My Surrogacy Journey. It's been going since 2021, and we're now a team of 95 people.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Based all over, or everybody kind
So
of?
yeah, we have three legal entities. So we
Okay.
have one in the US,
Mhm.
one in the UK, which is non-profit,
Mhm.
and then one in Mexico City.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, it's we after about 18 months, we kind of wanted to change the landscape of how surrogacy was managed in the UK, and that was our mantra back then. Um, and that was successful. We became the largest organization out of all of them after about 18 months, and then continue to develop services for intending parents from over nearly 20 different countries now that we support.
Wow.
But we only recommend three destinations. So depending on where you're from or what you can access or what your timescales or budget might be, yeah, we kept on doing the doing and helping build families. And yeah, it's
Three.
pretty awesome.
You said three destinations. So you saying three destinations to have a surrogate deliver
Correct.
your child in?
Yes,
Can I
yes.
assume they're the UK, Mexico, and US, or no?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
Good
Yes.
guess,
So
Mom.
we used to recommend Canada, but then the wait times were, we kind of saw them start to breach sort of 3, 4, 5 years, and the
Oh,
agency landscape in Canada
Wow.
changed dramatically and was oversubscribed. And intended parents who've already had, long agonizing waits were just left in the dark, and we were seeing odd behavior from that sector. And so we stopped recommending Canada to do surrogacy, still to create embryos because the clinics are great.
okay.
Um, but yeah, so USA, Mexico City, we only work in Mexico City, and we'll talk
Okay.
about why in a bit.
Fair.
And the UK, but you can only do UK surrogacy if you're UK domiciled. So
Okay.
you have to, you don't have to be a British national, but you have to be domiciled, which is your legal tax kind of status,
Got
um, anchoring you to the UK.
Okay.
Oh,
And
that's an
and I'm
interesting
I'm
fact.
just gonna say, 2021, we just entered 2026,
Yeah.
and you are
No,
huge. What,
Yeah.
it's
like,
it's been
snowball?
do you know what? I often tell people, I had hair down my back then, it's been tough.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the right, sometimes doing the right thing, it requires hard work, right? And but
Mhm.
we have a phenomenal team, and um, we wanted to be different. That was
Yeah.
totally, totally deliberate, and we created something which, we're on a trajectory to be the largest surrogacy organization in the world. We're almost at the same point of one of the largest in the US. So we're nearly doing 600 journeys a year. Um,
Oh my God.
yeah, it's
Like, I was
crazy.
giving you props, but oh my God, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's
it's going really
phenomenal.
well. We're well,
Good
we're
for
really
you
lucky.
guys.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. That's really kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great because I mean, and on this podcast, oftentimes we have surrogates come on and they share their stories. Oftentimes because it's a very personal journey for intended parents themselves. So to know that there's like this destination for intended parents
Right.
to go, and it's like a one-stop shop. So it
Yeah,
seems.
it is. We kind of built this ecosystem because, what we were seeing from most surrogacy organizations or agencies was, you go to them for one bit and then you'll pass to your attorney or then your
Right.
egg bank and
Right.
then your clinic. And then if you've got to return, you've got immigration to put in the mix. Then you've got your counseling, and then there might be some genetics history or some embryology elements you need to talk through. And then there's the surrogates. And
Yeah.
so we were like, right, let's create an ecosystem of brands and organizations that we founded,
Yeah.
and we hold everyone's hand throughout. And surrogates also right the way through to fourth trimester and lactation support and everything else that's included. We've got doulas and midwife professionals that support all of our
So wait,
amazing
where
surrogates.
where do you get your surrogates? Do you have a surrogate agency, or is that within your hub, or no?
So My Surrogacy Journey is the surrogacy agency as such.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
within that, we've got business functions that manage all of the other elements. We
Oh,
also have two clinics, a clinic in Mexico and a clinic in the UK. And an egg donation agency. So again, it just keeps things and communication. As we know, surrogacy journeys, communication's often where they all fall down.
Yes.
Um, and that was key, that that continuity of care, whoever you are,
yeah.
was of the highest regard and consistent. So yeah, MSJ is the agency as such, or the brand now.
Okay.
And that's where we have the three legal entities. So UK,
Okay.
Mexico, and the US. The US, we tend to work more with partner surrogacy agencies, and only mainly because we've seen a real decline in sort of Europeans coming to the US for third-party reproduction now, due to cost mainly. So we wanted to just find another destination that had ethical standards and great healthcare, and that's when Mexico City was born in 2023.
So, question, because I think we've talked to one person from Mexico. I think it was actually Mexico City, like forever ago, years ago. So, are surrogates compensated? Because where my question is going is because the UK is considered altruistic. I know there's
Correct.
like, I think maybe
It's
there's like
reasonable expenses.
yeah, like there's like reimbursements for
Correct.
some things, but
Yeah.
the US is very commercial based. I hate that
Correct.
term, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
commercial based. So is Mexico City altruistic, commercial based? Like,
No, it's compensated, so it's commercial. So yeah,
okay.
and the one thing, I think the one misconception about Mexico that people don't quite understand is it's one of the few countries in the world that's got a Supreme Court ruling about surrogacy, which protects that pathway. It has amazing family law called procreational will, which allows surrogates to relinquish so in Mexico, everyone has a legal right to have a baby. So which one of the only countries in the world that has procreational will. And so that means as a surrogate, you can relinquish procreational will when you're a surrogate. So when you give birth, you are not the mother. So that then Mexico has a pre-birth order pathway like most of the US states do, which adds protection for everybody, right?
Right.
And yeah, it's there's some uh, legislation is literally new legislation is about to come in Mexico, which makes it even safer and makes the whole process even smoother, which is great to hear because you do hear some awful things about surrogacy in Mexico, and that still exists in certain parts. But with us, it was about the new mantra for MSJ setting the standard for global surrogacy. So, we do so much for surrogates, in particular in Mexico, because of the previous risks of exploitation.
Okay.
Wow,
Amazing.
thank you for that
Shocked.
explanation because that's a lot. That's a lot. We don't ever get to hear about Mexico City. I know, and like for some people, they do have
Misconception.
misinformation on it. I had misinformation on it 100%
Oh,
until
so
you just
everyone does,
Yeah.
right? It's what we're fed, and I think
Yeah.
especially at the minute, as we
yeah,
know,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's really what is happening in certain parts of Mexico is obviously horrendous.
Yeah.
The history of certain states being cartel run is
Yeah.
commonplace, and that's always been in the news and
Right.
media and in Mexico's history.
Mhm.
And whilst that's not cool, there are parts of Mexico that aren't like that and are incredibly, Mexico City is one of my most favorite places on earth. It's so safe. My kids love it. It's very LGBTQ friendly.
Mhm.
It's got some of the best LGBTQ legislation protections. Trans men that give birth in Mexico are fathers, not mothers. It's the only country in the world that has that
Wow.
protection. Yeah,
That's so
there's
awesome.
so
What?
many cool things about like
US, take note. Come on.
exactly. Do you know what I mean? But as well, when people do talk down about surrogacy in Mexico, especially Mexico City, and you talk about the legal framework here, it's got so many advantages, and I think the US is that gold standard, right? That's what it's pitched as, but this is the other gold standard, and I
Seems
think
to be.
Yeah.
and and especially when you start hearing about how you know surrogate screening is here, and what surrogates go through,
Mm.
it's by far more than any country does to protect surrogates.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I don't think the US, this might be a controversial thing for me to say, but I don't think the US has the gold standard as we once did for
I
surrogacy.
agree. I think it's
Yeah,
slipped. I do think it's
yeah,
slipped. I really
It
do.
has
And
slipped.
in a number of ways, right?
yeah.
I think what the US is complicit in, and this is a bit controversial, is the rise of financial infertility. People
Mhm.
are not having families now because of cost, or they're making bad decisions, or going to bad destinations, or doing surrogacy that probably shouldn't be, isn't safe, and
Right.
or not having a family at all, which is heartbreaking, right?
It's
So, we're seeing financial infertility rise, and that was why we launched MSJ in Mexico, to tackle financial infertility, and we launched it to the US in November last year.
Oh, wow.
So,
Really?
so kind of just to segue into that, like you don't have to give us monetary numbers, but
I'm happy to.
okay, but based on US and based on Mexico, what's a couple looking at? Are we looking at half the cost in Mexico? Are we looking at two-thirds?
The average saving for an American to do a Mexican journey, creating embryos in Mexico, versus a domestic journey, they'll save about $160,000.
Can you say that again?
$160,000 they'll save up to.
Pick up the mouths, pick up the jaws.
Oh my gosh.
What?
So but that's with creating embryos in Mexico City,
Correct.
right?
If you're transporting embryos, so we offer two types of membership always, whether you're creating or transporting. So we manage all of the cryo shipping, all the cryo transport, all of the FDA clearances. That's all what we do.
Oh my gosh.
And if you're creating embryos, it's $102,000, everything. And that's even your US return immigration legals and all of your other compensation legals. And then if you're creating embryos, it's $82,000. If you're transporting, sorry, it's $82,000 versus $250,000, the average cost of a US journey.
Wait, out the door with a surrogate?
Yeah. All that you need to pay after are your flights and accommodation. That's all that you need. We baked everything in.
Are you inundated right now?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you are. Oh my, I want to cry, number one, because what you said, the term you used, the financial infertility, this makes it so accessible. Like you could, I hate to say it, but you could mortgage your home and start a family. Like there's ways for people to do it. You don't have to have $300,000 in the bank. Like
no, you don't have to draw down your 401k. You don't have to borrow. You don't have to sell your beach home or whatever, you've been left. And that's and me and my husband do all of the consultations. That's what we have committed to always do. And they're always free, and people can have as many as they want. And we do about 60 consultations a week. And I'd probably say now about 50% of that is coming from the US.
Okay.
And everyone lands at surrogacy at a different point, whether you're heterosexual or whether you're gay.
Yeah.
And when people have been on a 25-year trying to conceive journey, and they're in debt up to their eyeballs, and they've borrowed, they've begged, and when they know that they can do this and do this safely and ethically, and matched within 3 months, and they're matched to a medically cleared, legally cleared, sociologically assessed surrogate, ready to go by month 5 of them joining. Embryo transfers are scheduled.
Do you just people breaking down, sobbing, hearing all of this, going, "Oh my God, there's hope"?
Honestly, it's the best job in the world to be able to give that hope. Right? And as a parent myself through it, when you've got everything against you, especially for heterosexual people, that's what makes this the best job in the world.
Okay, so question, I'm going to go back. So you mentioned the word membership.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. That's the first time that I've ever heard that term. So is that just what you call it? Like, oh, you're with us, you're a membership? Or is this like, can you explain?
No, so we call everyone members, and we call that because we call them that because our experience of being an intended parent, you're labeled very early on, and your behavior has to reflect your label, right? So as an intended parent in an altruistic destination, you've got to be grateful. You've got to walk on eggshells. You can't upset anyone, because am I going to be blacklisted? They're going to work with me. So you're almost disingenuous, really. You're not being yourself. You're constantly saying, "Oh my God, I'm going to go and have my godsons this weekend, and we're going to go to the playground." And you paint this like picture that's not you.
Yeah.
Whereas we wanted everyone to be equal. Everyone gets the same level of support, but we provide membership benefits. So being a member with us, they then access their support, their counselling, their marital guidance. They get genetic testing, their IVF will be included, their fertility nurse consultant, their midwife, their endocrinologist, the embryologist and andrologist, the nutritionist. All these people are our scaffolding that we put around them, and then they're supported on the journey. So they're a member to what we feel is the best infertility club in the world.
Yeah.
And then, that membership is lifelong and takes them through to parenthood, and then goes beyond parenthood for those that need it. So yeah, the benefits, there's I think over 60 different benefits, and everything from pediatric first aid through to induced lactation, for intended mothers that want to induce lactate. There's their doula, there's their psychologist, everything that you need to we arm them as best as we can for parenthood, or to be a surrogate, or to deal with post-birth and hormones and fourth trimester. Or if they're a donor, what does that mean? Is it open? Is it anonymous? Is it donor release? Again, the education is the kind of the foundation of MSJ. It was all about educating so people make the right decision, whether they choose us or not.
Yeah.
They can leave knowing a little bit more, and that's kind of the mission and the vision.
They're choosing you. I
I know.
I think they're choosing you just from your growth alone. 600 journeys.
And your genuosity, just by talking with you right now, like it comes from a place of not just experience, but like full heart. Like it is like, no,
Oh, for sure.
This is how it always should have been done. This is how it should. This is the gold label. This is
setting the standard, right? This is and what I like, because I never look at competition as a threat, or I don't obsess over competitors. But what we did in the UK is they all then raised their standard. They all started giving more support. They all started caring for intending parents better, or clinics started writing specific pathways for gay men. And, andrology rooms started to change to accommodate gay men giving sperm samples, for example, because, when we did our journey, that was a horrendous experience.
Oh,
and
really?
but the standards all moved, and we've seen the dial start to move in the US and in Mexico, and that's good, because that means people are cared for better, surrogates are listened to and heard, and intended parents are held, and then at the end of that is a gorgeous baby that's born through a beautifully supported ethical framework.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
amazing. Because it's at the top of my head right now, I do not want to turn this into like a big conversation on it, but because you're in the community, you definitely have heard about escrows and things like that. Are you guys, because you have the membership, I know, look at your face. So because you have the membership, I'm like, wait, are you in-house escrow, or you're
God,
not?
no.
Okay. Okay.
No, we all know what's been happening in the US with regards to
Right.
escrow, don't we? And I think that's where the gold standard crown slipped. Once, okay, I get it. Twice, third, fourth time.
Yeah, that's
So how it works in the UK, escrow doesn't exist, and journeys in the UK, a total cost for a gestational journey with all of everything included, you're looking at between £50,000 and £65,000. So what, $75,000?
Okay.
wow.
Yeah. So and it's services are rendered to clinics, and then surrogates are paid directly because of reasonable expenses. So you can't use escrow, and it doesn't exist in the UK. For Mexico, people can choose to use escrow, and we work with an escrow organization, nothing to do or linked to us. But we've structured our fees because people that choose Mexico City are budget conscious. So front loading everything is just gonna not enable family building. So and none of our fees are ever upfront. They're all triggered and in parallel with how the journey is running. So they're triggered at certain points. So that money is released only from the intended parents or the members to the organization, or direct to the clinic, the lawyer, or the surrogate. We don't want to be the middleman. We don't want to handle those funds. We'll handle all of the membership funds that come through. But the indicative cost of the journey, we will make sure that there are legal frameworks and contracts with any partner that's providing those services. So all of the lawyers are independent, for surrogate and for intended parent. And
That's lovely.
That's great. Thank you for touching on that, because I
Yeah.
know that
No,
people were gonna be wondering.
You
yeah,
mentioned intended parents could be matched within about 3 months.
yeah, in Mexico City, yeah.
Okay, Mexico City. What's an onboarding for a surrogate look like in Mexico City? If everything's going, she contacts you guys and wants to be a part of your wants to be a member, a part of your organization. How long before she gets matched?
So onboarding process, I'll take you through onboarding. So
Okay.
they will first reach out to us. They'll be met with our engagement team, who will do a pre-qualification, just assess whether they meet criteria. So no more than 2 C-sections. They're a very strict BMI. They've got to have had a live birth. They have to be within an age limit, and they have to be from Mexico City. They can't, and we don't have surrogates coming in from other states because that is exploitative potentially.
Yeah.
They will obviously have to consent to going through fertility treatment. And once they get through the qualification, they then speak to the recruitment team that dive a bit deeper into, their reasons for wanting to do this. So they'll then, within a couple of days, then speak to the recruitment team, who will then go through in a bit more detail their medical history, and their motivations for doing this. And then they'll be passed then for full medical assessment, which is a full medical questionnaire by our in-house doctors and endocrinologists. They will then be passed for blood work. So they'll go then to have all of their STD checks, all of the relevant blood work, HIV, Hep B, Hep C. And they'll do thyroid check, vitamin D. They will have a saline infusion scan to make sure there are no polyps, cysts, abrasions, or previous scarring. Make sure that the uterus is healthy. And providing all of that is done, they'll have then vaginal pap smears. Once they come back clear after culture of 5 days, they're then medically clear. From then, they go into a social and economic assessment to make sure that they are not in poverty, they're not doing this as a means to survive, they're not being coerced, they've got income to support themselves. They have 3 social worker visits at their home to make sure that the home is conducive of a healthy pregnancy and birth. 3, 1 at joining, 1 at 12 weeks, and 1 at 26 weeks.
Okay.
Anyone in their home over the age of 18 has a criminal background check. They will have a criminal background check as well and do full toxicology reporting. After that, they go into legal assessment and do their legal contracting to make sure they're not known to social services, that their children live with them. And then after that stage, they will then go for a full psych evaluation. Nutritionist will speak to them, check their BMI, confirm that it's under 30. And then they will, we start their insurance. So at that point, they start their major medical and life insurance, because we have to have a period of claimable period in the insurance policy. We may not match them, but we take that hit on all of that cost to now, because it's about being efficient rather than what happens a lot in Mexico and in the US is match breaks. And the IPs and the surrogate bears the trauma of that, right? Cost, delay, building a relationship, then it all disappears. Whereas we're matching them to someone that is ready to go. And then they'll build their profile on our system, MSJ Match. Both parties will. And the match is the surrogate has the first call. So the surrogate will be given what's important to you. Is it where they're from? Is it heterosexual, same sex, single, embryos already? How many embryos? Religion? Once she approves for her profile to be seen by other intended parents, and we've agreed that, then we start sharing profiles. And that onboarding is about 7 weeks. And then we match within 3 months, and then we go to embryo transfer by month 5. So they'll have 2 months of getting to know, and then holding their baby within 15 months. So
that's a blink. 15 months is a blink.
I know.
Seriously.
We've taken, we've learned the hard way. We've made mistakes. We've not always got it right, but this is why we wanted to show that it's possible, right? And that we can show that just because it's Mexico, it's not exploitative.
Correct. Because I
It,
think that's the biggest misconception.
Yes.
it is, it
Biggest.
is,
Yeah.
and that makes me cross. My son was born
Correct.
here. He's Mexican by dual citizenship, and
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about this country and how Mexicans have had a bad rep in all senses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a wonderful, a great legal framework, pre-birth orders, and a smooth exit. You usually in country for about 6 weeks post-birth. Um,
That's
None of this
amazing. Like,
people getting stuck and all of
yeah.
that. It tends to be because they don't get legal advice. They don't follow the framework. They keep the surrogate
Right.
on as the mother and the birth certificate. And we don't do that. We do pre-birth orders.
Love
Surrogates
it.
in Mexico, what's beautiful is that surrogates are named as gestational carriers on a birth certificate. So they're not erased from the child's birth record. They are
Yeah.
named as carried by surrogate name.
That's on a birth certificate? That's
Yeah.
Amazing.
phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
really, really cool.
you get the medical certificate and your birth certificate. So the surrogate is never erased from and I don't ever recommend
Yeah.
misleading your child of how they were born. But our surrogates are huge in our kids' lives, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they should be celebrated and recognized.
Then this may be a very quick answer. So you wouldn't do a journey that's got an NDA on it, would you? Or would you?
We have done NDAs where we're working with people that have wanted some protection,
Yeah.
but they still have a direct they have to have a direct relationship with the surrogate.
Okay.
Else
Okay.
you can't work with us.
Oh,
You have
awesome.
you have
Awesome.
your own communication channel that we're not in.
Great.
You pay them direct. We want we're not not everyone wants to be best mates, but we want a relationship at least. We don't
Yeah.
want this to feel like a transaction. And
Thank you for
we
using that
want
word.
we want this to feel more meaningful than that.
I can't see where this is not a win-win for every single person involved.
Really?
I can't. I'm
Yeah.
trying I'm sitting over here going, what's the negative? What's the negative? No, I can't see it.
And I'm also sitting over here going like, oh my gosh, wait, like
Let's move to Mexico.
because you thought of
Yeah.
you thought of everything. Like you thought of
Yeah.
everything. But it breaks. I mean, I don't know the backstory, but I'm like, wait, hold on. Did you guys, or do you clearly someone, or you guys went through it yourself, where you guys had maybe heartbreak or trauma or
Yeah.
things like that? Because nobody just gets here by not being experienced. And I think that you guys bring a huge asset by being like, we went through it. We know it. This is the way it needs to go, because
For sure.
you need peace. Everybody needs peace, understanding, being heard.
Yeah. And I think I also want my kids to be really proud of their dads.
Oh
our
God, they've
family,
gotta be.
our family looks different. So we do have to navigate daily life very differently to a heterosexual couple with children. So I think we've always had to overcompensate a little bit more just to not to prove that we're a great family and we're great people, but we are also very open to criticism because of what we do, because we're two men, that we had to absolutely make sure that we're doing everything right. And we continue to lobby with the Senate in Mexico to insist on stronger regulation, because we're the only surrogacy agency in the whole of Mexico, and there's nearly 100 agencies, that's legally registered with the government. We're the only one.
No way.
How?
Yeah.
So wait, okay, and we won't dive into it too big, but is there something you've done that everyone else hasn't? You've just
no, just registered with
Okay.
the government and pay tax in Mexico.
okay,
And that was
like a
because we
normal
wanted
company would do.
Right.
But that was because all of the other big agencies are in California or Miami or
Ah,
Norway.
Got
And but I think I don't have an issue with the ethics behind that, because when you're a registered company here and you pay tax, you also get an employment license, so you can employ Mexicans and you can pay their social security, you can pay their healthcare, right? And as well, our members benefit because they get a continuation of support rather than contractors coming and going, because we can employ and look after people. So again, if we're going to say we're doing things right and setting the standard, it's got to always run through. But yeah, so we're the only one. It's wild that we are.
That is crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
But good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for
Thank you.
you. Like I'm really not at a loss for words ever. This is insane. This is wonderful, beautiful, phenomenal. I cannot
Thank you.
tell you how proud I am of you guys. I've just met you.
Thank you.
I think this
That's
is
really kind.
so cool.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it is
God.
cool. And you guys know as well, right? You know, this when you enter into the world of surrogacy, no matter your part that you play, it's with you forever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it changes your life, whether as a surrogate or, you know, I'm a sperm donor as well as being a dad through surrogacy. And I think that you I'm grateful for all of the components and the people that have helped me have three amazing kids. And I think when you're into it like we are, and I'm talking about the two of you,
Yeah.
you are constantly banging that drum to educate people about what this is versus what this isn't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, and thank you for you're educating us
Us.
because
Yeah.
like
This is
it
nothing like I thought we were going to hear today. Like I
no,
came in
me
blind.
either.
I did.
Oh,
I came in
I hope
blind.
it's better.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's
Oh my God.
wonderful. Oh my
It's
God.
tremendous. And I just have to back up because I don't know how much you know about us, but like my mom only did this for gay males. And
Right.
so I went into this being like, okay, I gotta do this just for gay males. And it is so heartbreaking to hear because I know a lot of people think like this too in the LGBTQ community that there is still something to prove. No,
Mm.
you guys are phenomenal. A lot of the times
We're
I
human.
like the LGBTQ community a lot more than the heterosexual community at times.
Yeah.
And
A
you
little
know,
bit more. Yeah.
it's just a love fest. Like oh like
I
the
think
LGBT community is so understanding of everyone. There's no
Yeah,
judgment.
and that's the joy of when you come from this community. And
Yeah.
what I'm really proud of with my children is, you know, because of their dads, their their use of language is phenomenal. Their tolerance, they understand pronouns, they respect trans people. You know, they we had a conversation the other day about Siri, because the car Siri and the home hub Siri had a different voice. And Tallulah, who was 8 at the time, was like, I think Siri must be non-binary because their voice sounds different in the car than at home. So, and I'm like, oh, I love you. Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
you know,
I
God.
love
and
Well,
that.
and people that are I know, right? But I think our community that arrive at surrogacy,
yeah.
it's often our choice and it's our first decision. So it's very celebratory and it doesn't come with loss or trauma necessarily. And so I think for a surrogate as well, it can sometimes feel well you're joining it at a point of joy rather than pressure of, oh my gosh, you've got one embryo left and you've
Right.
been on this journey for 20 years. This is
Right.
I want to help you, but this weight's heavy. And
Yes.
you know, I get that because we heterosexual members of ours say the same. They often go, will we ever be matched because of our situation? And that just
Oh,
makes me want to work even harder for them, right?
yeah.
Because we're all deserving of it, and no matter how we end up needing surrogacy.
I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. Anybody, I've always said it, anybody who wants a baby should have a baby. Like there should be
Agree.
no stops. If they want a baby,
That's what Mexico do.
Yeah.
Everyone has that legal right, regardless of who you are. They have third gender here on birth certificates. It's just, yeah.
It really is. I
just
just am
fascinating.
so.
Gosh.
Mm.
Um, I'm just gonna leap over because I have it
Go
in
on,
my
do
notes.
it.
Do you guys have an app?
We do have an app, yeah. So we have, and it's in the App Store and Google Play Store. It's called My Surrogacy Journey, Your Journey app.
Oh,
And all of the journey management and case management is managed through there. There's educational content, restaurant
wow.
reservations, the
Oh,
doulas, educational content, live stream content. We communicate through it and it's
Okay.
great. We
God.
launched that 3 years ago as our prime method to safely talk to our members because, you know, Facebook groups are declining. They're full of opinions.
Yep.
You
that's a
know,
nice way to put it.
the app, the app's moderated. There's clinicians in it, so
Okay.
someone's having a doubt or a concern, there's an army of people that can jump to it, and there's hundreds of educational videos to watch, and you know, meditation, things to do in your 2 week waits, you know, reflex, you know, therapy techniques for surrogates, donors, intended parents.
And that's all available when you're a member. like
Yeah,
when you
you
become
get
part of
full
your.
access when you become a member, and that's you have your own channel in there with your membership manager, that your experience manager that's with you, and then when you wherever what that if you then land in Mexico or US, you're the US team then coming to your channel, and then the comms continue. So there's always that continuity of experience managers with them.
Oh my God.
You guys have thought of it all. Like seriously,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tried,
do you
not
mind
not
me?
everything, but we've
Well,
tried.
do you
Like
mind me asking?
98.9%.
Yeah. What was you and your husband's background before your jobs just dried up and you decided, hey, we're doing this?
So I worked in healthcare recruitment. So I recruited fertility staff
Okay,
for healthcare providers. So I knew the fertility industry, and I knew all the clinics, and I
great.
knew what they were good at and what they weren't good at. So
Yeah,
I had that inroad already.
yeah.
My husband worked in project management.
Mm,
So he worked in mainly high stadium events. So he worked for the London Olympic Games. He then worked for a major football club. So when everything stopped, so did our work.
sure.
Um, so we took stock, and we decided. But we've both always been, we take risks, and sometimes that's good, and
Yeah.
sometimes that works. But we we've always been, I think, because we're gay as well, activism
Mm,
and really pushing down and breaking down those doors is something that we've always had to do.
yeah.
And we saw the fertility space as being a space that needed modernizing,
Yes.
because people
100%.
like us couldn't access it. So that was, I think that drive was as what's helped us.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So okay, so we talked a little bit about the app. If people are listening to this and they're like, I need to get a hold of these people, like what's the best way?
So they can find us on any of our socials. So the UK socials are official My Surrogacy Journey. And then in the USA, it's My Surrogacy Journey _ USA. You can find us at the website mysurrogacyjourney.com. You'll be taken to the US site if you're in the US, or the
Yes,
Mexican
you
site if you're in
will.
there. And then, or you can find the app. And then we've got a podcast too. So we've got 4 seasons of our podcast.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, so we have 4 seasons, and then 2 seasons all about the Mexico pathway as well, that take you through in chronological order from start to returning with your baby.
Wow.
That is just
Blows my mind.
mind
Yeah.
blowing. Mind blowing. This is
Thank you.
all
You
so
two are far too
beyond.
kind. I was
No, we're
expecting
not.
to
No,
No,
no.
we're year 5, and you're by far no dissing to any of our other guests, but one of the most intriguing,
Mhm.
educational,
Yeah,
Hmm.
put it out there, helping everyone. And I don't
yeah,
just mean surrogates and intended parents. You're hiring people in Mexico City. I I don't even know how to put it into words. It just seems like there's no loss here. It's all win-win.
yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody's benefiting.
Mhm.
I think so.
Everybody.
I think so. And we've got,
Yeah.
but I don't underestimate the power of our team.
Yeah.
It's not, and we had a work event the other day, and everyone's, this isn't work.
No, right.
This is a privilege to
Yeah.
see what, we take people at their most vulnerable from an intended parent point of view, and we take them to the goal, and to witness that
Yeah.
is just
Oh,
a privilege.
goosebumps every day.
Mhm.
How many babies since the inception of the, do you
So
keep it together? Do you US, UK, Mexico?
yeah, we kind of put them in verticals of
Mm,
where those births happen.
mm.
So at the moment in Mexico, there are 72 pregnancies. We've had 34 babies born
Oh,
in Mexico.
it's amazing.
We've had nearly 40 in the UK. We've had 7 through US. Um, yeah,
Amazing.
it's amazing. It really is.
It is, because it takes 9 months to have a baby. And so,
Yeah.
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 But yeah, and I think the thing is, it's about efficiency,
Yeah.
and I don't mean that in a crude commercial sense. I mean,
No.
a lot of people, all of us, we might have everything in the world, but we can't buy time.
Mm,
And when you've been on an infertility or a fertility journey anyway, it's just unknown. So we have to be efficient. And that was, we use a ton of technology at MSJ, and a lot of pioneering technology that we launched when we started, that a lot of people were like, oh, come on, guys.
Oh.
But it's now technology that's now in most clinics, or it's embracing where fertility is going, and I group surrogacy in that sector, because people are, we're seeing infertility on the rise, we're seeing sperm and egg health decline. Education around what we're putting in our bodies needs to be improved. Kids aren't taught how to get pregnant, we're taught how not to get pregnant, which creates other issues. So we're doing a big piece of work in the UK with Education England about educating and getting surrogacy on the curriculum to talk about family building and talk about how to get pregnant. And you should get your AMH checked as soon as you can, and you should get your sperm checked when you're a teen, because we don't know, and we should be preserving fertility and normalizing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I completely agree with you. I mean, because you hear stories all the time, like, oh, I'm taught in sex ed, like take birth control, do this. Well, had I known that I wasn't even fertile, why did any of that matter? Like,
and am I going through the menopause? Like we had we've got a gorgeous member of our team that was, when everyone joins our organization, as part of the benefits, they get a fertility check, and if they want egg freezing, they can get egg freezing. If they want their sperm freezing, they can freeze their sperm.
Awesome.
And she was 19, and she was going through the menopause, had not known, so she managed to freeze 10 eggs, and would have carried on through, just thinking she had a problem with her periods because she used to be a dancer, but her AMH level was virtually non-existent. It was this equivalent of a 47-year-old woman.
Oh my God. So in a sense, you guys have given her the opportunity to hopefully have a family when she wants to have one.
Yeah, but it's the education of that, because it's not necessarily, oh my God, look how amazing we are. It's talking to our children about what our bodies do, and when we want children, what needs to work, and not always take birth control, use protection. Yes, that's important, but let's own our fertility.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Those are just quick fixes. That's not like not a fix, but like,
But it's preventative, right? It's preservation, and we should be doing more of that.
Yeah. Wow. I could just talk to you for hours and hours and hours. I think people are just, I know I keep saying it, but like, it's just, this is our fifth, sixth season, something like that. And like, this has been a long time coming. This has been needed in the community, and half of it we didn't even know was needed until you started talking, and we're like,
that's fine, but that's totally fine. That's one of the joys of being able to pass this on, right?
And now our podcast is going to pass it on, and hopefully somebody will recommend it from there, and then they'll find you, and full circle. I think it's phenomenal technology, man. It's just insane.
It's wild.
Do you have any advice for like intended parents, especially that might be like starting their journeys?
I think, if it doesn't feel right, then it's not right. So let's listen to the gut. Surrogacy you should be going into it with your eyes wide open, and you should be doing your research, and don't just pick the first agency that comes across or has the cheapest cost, because that's not gonna, we all see how that goes wrong. I think perseverance and patience is key in surrogacy, regardless of it being a 15-17 month journey or a 5-year journey. There are still unexpected bumps in the road, and you do need to prepare for that. But research is key. Cheap isn't always best. And take your time in making these decisions. Really get recommendations, get referrals, check out their legal status of their organization. Are they registered in that country where they're operating? How long have they been running? Can you speak to other people that have been through the journey? Definitely do your homework.
Is there anything we didn't touch on that maybe you had a note that you wanted to say and we just didn't get there? because I want to give you that
No,
opportunity.
this was good. I like the fact that we went rogue, and this
We
was
did.
fun.
We always do.
That's
This was
our
good. No,
that's our specialty.
God, you were no wonder you're in 5 seasons. This is cracking. I No, I think, there's nothing else that I feel I need to add. This was gorgeous and a nice conversation, and it felt right. I'm super protective over the perception of Mexico, because I do think Mexico is going to be the next fertility destination,
I do too.
without a doubt.
After listening to you, yes.
Fertility clinics here, I've spent my life in fertility clinics.
Yeah.
And I've never seen labs and fertility clinics as good. And I've been in all the ones in Hollywood. I've done New York. I've seen the ones in Europe, and your mind's blown when you walk into these places.
Really?
Oh my gosh, they are next level in terms of the support. Most have got yoga studios and wellness and juice bars and just the labs. The AI robotic labs are here, so the clinics are using fully robotic embryologists.
It just
amazing.
makes my heart so happy that people who
Me too.
Yeah, right. That may have not think that there's a hope for them. You guys exist. You exist. This might be all what they're looking for wrapped up in one.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hate to say it seems too good to be true, but you're real. You're totally real.
And I'm really boring.
And you're proving it.
No, you're not boring at all. We're probably biased, but this is very fascinating.
Thank you. No, incredible. I love the work that I'm involved in.
Yeah,
and
it shows.
And I'll do it forever, right? And yeah, this was gorgeous, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks to you. Right.
Seriously.
We are honored that you came on. Honored.
Yes.
Keep doing what you're doing. Gosh. Yeah. Kudos to your husband too, because we know he's an integral part of this too.
Oh, and he and my husband is like, we both work hard, but my husband is like always striving for the next thing to fix within the ecosystem or within the industry that is, or the sector rather. I hate the word industry. The sector that is broken. And that's why we tackled the US from a different angle.
Yeah,
because we don't, all the agencies that do a great job there, cracking, and I'm all for them, but we're not them, and we're doing something different. We want to work with the intended parents that don't have that budget, that aren't their clients anyway. Right. Yeah. So we're taking the ones that couldn't afford them. So we're not taking anything away from the US in terms of the surrogacy world.
Right.
We're working with those intended parents that couldn't afford them, but we're still going to make them parents.
And didn't have another option until possibly they found you. And now look, like they're going to be parents. They're going to have a family, God willing, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And honestly, who cares if you take intended parents from the US? This is way better. This is a way better opportunity and path.
This one-stop shop is
I do agree, but
I know you couldn't say it, so I said it for you. But
you can say it. I
can say it. But yeah, no, this is gorgeous. This was truly amazing. You are phenomenal. Your husband's phenomenal. Everything you guys are doing. Congratulations on your 3 kiddos and your 6-month-old. Oh my gosh, how fun.
So cool.
Yeah, he's gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. Thank you for coming on. We won't.
Thank you for reaching out. This was just joyous.
Oh, yay. Great. I'm glad when people are like, yes, we enjoyed it. I'm like, okay, good. I'm always so nervous.
I even grabbed myself a little beer in case I got a bit nervous.
Apple juice.
No, I know. I was going to say it's iced tea, but I was like, I'll be honest with you, it was beer.
Hey, live your life. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Next time I'm going to have a margarita right here.
It's nearly 5 o'clock here, so
there you go.
Perfect. There you go.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was a delight, honestly.
It was. And more power to you. Congrats. Keep going. Keep going.
Thank you so
much. Love it. Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Pow. I can't.
Just like...
Can I move to Mexico City?
Him for hours?
Can I move to Mexico City?
I would. Honestly, it's so crazy. And I don't mean this disrespectfully. It's just the way that it was always portrayed to me in the surrogacy world is that Mexico was like dirty. Like it was like a dirty place to go.
I think that's what he's part of the
I know,
and
about, like surrogacy and things like that. And to know that it's like the complete opposite, it's like, what other lies were you people feeding me?
Right.
Because like that's so phenomenal. The opportunities, the benefits, the everything. And I didn't want to just like be like Mexico City, but like, come on.
From the, like he just said, he's not taking people from the US intended parents. He's giving those parents who don't fall into those categories in that financial aspect of it. He's giving them hope. He's giving them dreams. He's giving them
which is a lot of people.
him and his husband. That, that they can actually be parents and not break the bank or be in debt for the rest of their lives. What a weight lifted. I've never gone through infertility, only through my surrogacy journey. Okay, but what a weight lifted. People who feel like they couldn't have never done this before now find my surrogacy journey and kind of go, what? This is possible. What? And it's all include what? It's, I hate to say it, but it's almost like an inclusive resort down in Mexico where you just go and you and you just come home with a baby. I know that is simplistic. I understand it.
Totally. But I get where you're coming from.
Honestly, that is what it's making me feel like, these good vibes and good feels.
Yeah. Well, the way he explained everything so thoroughly, like the steps, it was easy breezy. I mean, I get it. It's like everything has to line up properly and things like that. But like,
and the first part of the surrogate where she goes through 6 or 7 weeks of stuff, my surrogacy journey, from what he said, is taking
they front it.
That they do it. And then, so it's not like, give me X amount of dollars in the 6 figures and let me put it in a little account. And then we're going to start taking away. I'm not saying that that's the wrong way to do it. I'm just saying I like their idea of when things come up, then it's paid. Okay, in 2 months, you're going to owe this. And so it's not coming up with an exuberant amount of money. It's pay. I hate to say pay as you go, but it kind of is. It's there's milestones.
A little bit more, but yes. Yeah.
There's milestones and you meet them. And I just think that is a little bit more enticing to a couple.
Breathable.
Or person. Yeah. Who's in the like he called it financial infertility. Yeah. It's what a term.
Wow. I really did not expect this conversation to go that way.
This was phenomenal.
No, this was so great.
Thank you so much, Michael. I
know. And Wes.
Time out of your day.
I know.
And Wes,
Yes.
There.
No. So wow. Okay.
Blown away.
I know I'm like still like blown away by it all. But it's just
let me say one more thing. I'm always in the back of my mind, because we've done surrogacy and we've been part of it. And we just knew that there was something missing, something better to come, it should be different. I think this is it.
I think my
surrogacy journey is it. We've arrived.
Yeah.
And that's all we've arrived. And more power to Michael and Wes for creating what seems like a beautiful entity. And I just can't even thank them enough for giving that to all the communities, the 3 communities that they help. I can't.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
It's a lot. It's beneficial on all sides. Truly.
That's what I said from the very beginning. It's helping everyone.
Yeah.
Who can say that? Yeah.
Michael and Wes.
There you go.
That's
done.
If anyone has any questions or stories they would like to share with us, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Stop.Sit.Surrogate or at our email at Stop.Sit.Surrogate@gmail.com. And this has been another super fun episode of Stop.Sit.Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Before we wrap up, a huge thank you to our sponsor, US Surrogacy. Their support helps us continue to share real stories, educate our community, and connect families through the incredible journey of surrogacy. Thanks so much for tuning in to Stop.Sit.Surrogate, where every story matters and every journey is worth sharing. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. Also, check out the link to our YouTube channel in the description. And be sure to also check out our children's book, My Mom Has Superpowers, sold on Amazon and Etsy.